This is wrestling's greatest moments.
Hey now, wrestling fans. Wrestling fans have their favorite jobbers, but for many WWF fans, no one can compare to Iron Mike Sharpe. Sit back as wrestling's greatest moments looks at Canada's greatest athlete, the Iron Mike Sharpe Story. Before we get started though, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video. Mike Sharpe was born on October 28, 1951, in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Sharpe's father, Mike, and his uncle Ben were both professional wrestlers who formed a famous tag team in the 1950s, finding particular success in San Francisco and Japan. The Sharpe brothers were influential during Japanese professional wrestling's formative years, with their campaigns there helping their own careers as well as that of their opponents. For example, their participation in the tag team tournament against Rikidozan and Masahiko Kimura started a highly regarded run in Japan, with some historians crediting this as Rikidozan's breakout moment. Standing around 6'5", the Sharpe brothers were a sight to behold, and it's easy to see where Mike Jr. got his size from. Mike Jr. initially boxed and weightlifted before turning his attention to the squared circle. Canadian wrestler Dewey Robertson, who later transformed into the missing link, trained Mike, preparing him for the ring. While Iron Mike Sharpe is best remembered by many fans as a rugged WWF wrestler who usually came up short against opponents, the Hamilton native enjoyed significant success in the territories during the 1970s. Sharpe competed in the Vancouver-based NWA All-Star Wrestling territory ran by former NWA World Heavyweight Champion Gene Kiniski, the original wrestler to claim the title of Canada's greatest athlete. There, Mike captured the NWA Canadian Tag Team Championship. Interestingly, one of Iron Mike's partners was Salvatore Martino, future WWF jobber Salvatore Bellomo. He also held singles gold there, the NWA Pacific Coast Heavyweight Championship. Sharpe also worked a babyface run in Mid-South Wrestling, where he held the Brass Knuckles Championship and the Mid-South Louisiana Championship. Iron Mike Sharpe's abilities were enough to attract the attention of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Iron Mike worked alongside none other than Hulk Hogan. The Sharpe-Hogan duo faced some of Japan's toughest teams, including the teams of Antonio Inoki and Tatsumi Fujinami, Antonio Inoki and Akira Maeda, and Akira Maeda and Tatsumi Fujinami. Although Iron Mike and the Hulkster couldn't get wins over Inoki in tag team matches, they succeeded in most of their other tag team matches. Iron Mike Sharpe began a lengthy run in the WWF in 1983. The big and burly wrestler overcame enhancement talent, including Nick DiCarlo, Special Delivery Jones, and Barry Hart, aka Barry Horowitz, as he worked his way up the ladder. Fans began noticing that Sharpe's protective forearm pad, which he claimed he wore to protect an injury that wouldn't heal, might conceal a foreign object. Sharpe would take time to adjust his forearm pad during a match, and the next time he struck an opponent, it seemed like Sharpe's forearm was as solid as his nickname. While WWF wrestlers and officials couldn't prove the forearm pad was loaded, it seemed obvious to anyone who watched his matches. By April 1983, Mike earned the WWF Championship shot against Bob Backlund. The two clashed at the Philadelphia Spectrum, but Backlund was victorious after nearly 20 minutes. Iron Mike received more title matches but failed to wrest the title. Sharpe was just one of many highly rated superstars who couldn't defeat Backlund. However, unlike many of the other challengers, Sharpe only received a limited number of matches, and there's no record of him receiving rematches. Iron Mike also challenged fellow heel, the Magnificent Morocco, for the Intercontinental Championship. This was a big match for Mike, as he fought the Magnificent One in Madison Square Garden, one of many appearances for Sharpe at the mecca of professional wrestling, but arguably his biggest. At the time, it wasn't unusual for the WWF to elevate a wrestler into a WWF Championship program, have them lose, and then have them slide down the card into a mid-card or enhancement talent level role. Mike Sharpe effectively became a jobber to the stars, someone who gave his opponents a good fight, but frequently countered the lights. He did so in his own style though, screaming and shouting in the ring and moving around like a wild brawler. He made an effective and entertaining foe for the WWF superstars. And as wrestling ring announcer Gary Michael Cappetta astutely observed, Sharpe squashed lesser opponents on television only to be thrashed by up-and-comers at live events in Philadelphia and all the major venues throughout the WWF territory. Once past Sharpe, the wrestler receiving the push gained credibility en route to presenting himself worthy of a title shot. While Sharpe lost many more matches than he won, his career still had its moments. He had further shots at the Intercontinental Championship and a handful of WWF Tag Team Championship opportunities with different partners. Sharpe never held a title in the WWF, but he did advance to the 1988 King of the Ring quarterfinal when he defeated Boris Zukov in the first round. Sadly, fans didn't get to see King Sharpe as the Red Rooster beat him in the quarterfinals. Wrestling fans can be cruel. Imagine a man named Iron Mike Sharpe being called a wimp by wrestling fans. Yes, that was one of the derogatory terms Sharpe had to put up with. In fact, during an appearance on Piper's Pit, Iron Mike nearly snapped when Roddy Piper inadvertently mentioned this. Fortunately, Hot Rod was able to calm Sharpe down, at least calm by Sharpe standards. Roddy Piper asked about Mike's forearm pad, which some people claimed was a weapon. Sharpe denied this and said he could smash through boards with it, apparently just through his raw power. Piper had some production hands set up 2 boards on a table for a demonstration, but Mike decided to pass. Piper agreed, saying Iron Mike had nothing to prove. Iron Mike retired in 1997, but his contributions to the ring weren't over yet, as he opened a wrestling school. Like many wrestling schools, students pass through Iron Mike's school throughout their career, so it's often difficult to say how long they stayed in the school or how much Sharpe trained them. However, it's known that future wrestlers such as Simon Dean, Charlie and Russ Haas, Crowbar, and Mike Bucci, aka Nova, trained with him. It's been said that cleanliness is next to godliness, so make what you will about the many stories concerning Iron Mike and his fondness for keeping clean. In his first memoir, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, the Hulkster recalls Mike taking care of himself. Mike Sharpe was usually a preliminary wrestler, so he would often be in the first match of the evening. But there were times where he would get locked in the building after everyone went home because he was still in the shower, washing off. Mike Sharpe's quest for cleanliness was legendary, and on at least one occasion, it got him into a jam. As former ring announcer Gary Michael Cappetta recalls in his book Bodyslams, Memoirs of a Wrestling Pitchman. Sharpe was known backstage as Mr. Clean. He spent hours at the sink washing his hands before wrestling and several more hours in the shower after each of his matches. One night, after wrestling in an early bout at the Spectrum, he was still soaping up in the shower long after the matches had ended. Luckily, he found a night watchman to let him out of the locked building long after everyone had gone home. Even WWF announcers would make occasional in-jokes about Iron Mike during their commentary, joking that he could likely still be found showering off long after his match. In hindsight, it seems likely that Iron Mike suffered from something such as obsessive-compulsive disorder, but that's neither here nor there. The wrestling world lost an unforgettable figure when Iron Mike Sharpe died on January 17, 2016, at the age of 64. Iron Mike remains one of wrestling's most fascinating characters, and as fans know, that's saying a lot. Although he wasn't known for any championship reigns in the WWF, he entertained fans every time he worked, and like any good enhancement talent, he made his opponent shine. What more could anyone ask of him? So what do you think of Iron Mike Sharpe's wrestling career? Would you like to see a detailed profile on one of wrestling's other jobbers? Share your thoughts in the comments section, and let us know if there are any videos you'd like wrestling's greatest moments to cover. In the meantime, subscribe to our channel, follow us on X and Instagram, and spread the good news about wrestling's greatest moments, the channel that celebrates the squared circle.